Hi and welcome to my site. I'm Dana Durnford. Israel's footage from the Gaza flotilla is Mavi Marmara's sister ship. In this picture here, you can see the two ships superimposed alongside of each other. What you don't see is the name of the Mavi Marmara on both ships. And the stacks are different, just for starters. These were sister ships. The sister ship was sold previous. So, 2 and 2 has to make 4. And what does this mean for us? What does this mean for the world? It means that we were dubbed. It means we were sucker punched. It means Israel deliberately created a false flag. This was a premeditated murder. It's premeditated. They'd done this. They had this footage ready to go. They had a package. They had the lines drawn around everything. The names on the videos. They had it all. Do anybody really think for 1 second that Israel didn't have cameras and audio on that original Mavi Marmara when they attacked it? Does anybody think for 1 second that the soldiers that did go on that we never ever will see the footage of, because Israel is using the footage from its sister ship, so you know they're never going to release that other footage? Do you think that there might have been Israelis on board the ship? There is 6 people missing with no excuses, no apologies, no word. 6 Mossad agents. This who could have radicalized people on board the vessel. They could have fed them hallucinogenic drugs to make them panic. All of this is more than likely. All of this is more than realistically what exactly has happened. Israel created a false flag to demonize even more a country that they want for one purpose and one purpose only, to fulfill prophecy that the world will turn on Israel, even if they got to create it themselves. And they're really good at that, I can guarantee you. And I'm ashamed to say that for years, I sucked up everything Israel told me. But once you research into what Israel had really done, is they took all these settlements and they took any degenerate Jew off the street worldwide and they brought them in, and we gave them a $250,000 home in the settlement, $50,000 cash to get going. That's a lot of money, okay? That's the swimming pool, everything else. And then paid them to sit home and study the Torah. So right now you got 500,000 settlers living on occupied land, but they own that home. In their eyes, that's theirs, and they're not giving that up. The Bible said it's theirs. They're God's chosen ones. So if they get Jerusalem, that's part of their prophecy. And the world should turn on them, and then God will destroy the world. They don't care how. They don't care if it's by nuclear, even though God didn't plan on nuclear weapons in the book. They ignore that fact. The biological weapons that they made in labs is not in the Bible, but they'll be willing to use them, I can guarantee you. This is a threat to society worldwide. These people are a threat to humanity in the fact that they're fomenting all this hate by also stockpiling all these weapons. They are the 4th biggest exporter of weapons on the planet. They are a militarized society, militarized media. They are a bag of shit in our future. They are turning the world into a war zone. You're with us or you're against us. I mean, you know where George Bush got that saying from, don't you? George Bush absolutely sold out the entire planet for Israel's prophecy. We know George Bush was deeply religious, allegedly by George, and this was to let the Israelis drive their machine, which was take all the degenerate Israelis from worldwide and give them a $250,000 home, $50,000 cash, pay them to stay home, study the Torah, and scream verses in the streets, indoctrinating their kids and their loved ones. So, half the population of Israel is indoctrinated to think this way. So they're screaming that all the time. They indoctrinate everybody else in the country. The Israeli trolls will come online whenever I do this and they'll say, oh, that's only a small percentage of society. You got 1 million people. That's by your own admission. You're paying to stay home and read the Torah. That's 1/7 of the population. We're not talking about their children and their wives, okay? We're not talking about their money, their influences, their ability to join together for their ideology of the world should turn against them to fulfill a prophecy. And they use the Mavi Marmara's sister ship that don't even have a name on it in the videos. That's how blatant they are. That's how good they are at fooling you. That's how good they are at manipulating you. Look, research and you see how many times they have really manipulated you. This goes all the way back to a well-known U.S. Liberty, where they attacked the U.S. Liberty, an American ship, their ally, for 2 hours. And they knocked down the antennas immediately on that ship so it couldn't communicate. But what happened was, another U.S. Navy ship, aircraft carrier, launched 2 birds towards Egypt with nuclear weapons on board. If they had sunk the USS Liberty, they would have blamed it on Egypt and then nuked Egypt. That was the whole idea of that, see? This is about, ultimately, Israel getting Jerusalem. The world should turn on them. God should destroy the world. And they will be destroyed too, but they get to go to heaven because they're in Jerusalem, because that's their prophecy. Research it, folks. I'll put a link in YouTube's crotch bar. Look, Israel has destroyed Gaza. Okay, there used to be 4,000 items allowed in there. Now there's 150 items. Israel says they don't want to let anything get in there that could be created for a weapon. Well, fresh meat is not allowed in there. Potato chips is not allowed in there. Nutmeg is not allowed in there. Vinegar is not allowed in there.